But would we be taking some land of the Pinkeys or the church?
I don't think you would, but the church would have to find different parking
North and south, okay.
where that street is.
Well, if we built it at the very end of that 80 by 160,
Right.
unless there has to be clearance north to south.
Well, look at where it is now, there isn't any clearance.
Yeah.
Oh, there is.
No, but it's not quite as high either. Here's what the current one.
Yeah, the current one would be higher, at least 50 feet higher, I think. The higher the ground, the less in height of the tower.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we wanted it way out there.
Right.
Which saved 20 or 30 feet.
Well, what we ran up against is that he's already got land that's been cut out by Highway 20 that's gonna be going through. He said, I just don't wanna cut up anymore. Well, hell, I don't blame him. If I were him, I've been a farmer before. I don't like point roads either. Going around stuff. So if we can find a place that's gonna be suitable, either there or the current water tower, we may have to build what?
Or how about the school?
What's the elevation, do you remember the elevation maps? And I would think it's about as high of elevation at the current tower as what we were looking at on Pengross land.
Could you put it in the back corner of Penn Football Field?
Yeah.
That was, originally that was one,
That was one, but
but
we're
there again, we have to acquire
650
ground to do
more
it.
of.
Is that the school line now?
Yeah. That's all school
So
property.
we'd have to get easement from them.
Marcia, sounds like we got us a bit of a, making it a little weird, so. We may be on hold quite a bit.
And that's really fine, I mean, that is not uncommon, so, don't worry about that. I think, you're supposed to close out October 2011, if you need an extension, you can get it. That's not a problem.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring this up tonight.
Yeah.
I just called him tonight. I let him think about it since the last meeting. And I visited with him and I said, the council just wants to know if you can make an offer. And he doesn't, just not even cut it up.
So we really need to get together,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
make decisions.
Yeah. And even if you want to email in those questions, I can email them too, because I think they're legit questions. Is there separation distances, or could you build at the old tower site? And maybe he could respond and not hold things up till the next meeting.
Right.
If you have some ways you want to be exploring.
Yeah.
So, and the problem is, it's kind of a chicken and egg thing. You can't buy the land until you get your environmental paperwork done. So there, even when you decide your site, it's gonna take probably 3 months after that to get the relief. So the best you can do would be an option anyway. Just get an option to purchase, but don't close the deal until you get the paperwork done. So, and the SRF would require that also. So we have similar regs between the two programs. So anyway, I don't know if you want any more information about the SRF program or how you're gonna make the financing decision.
And USDA won't even, until the environmental report's done, they're not even, she said they wouldn't even consider it. And they're not handing out money like they said they were handing out money. Because she said nobody's really even gotten any money.
I've heard that too. Did she tell you what interest rate you would qualify for?
No, who was here? Tom, it was
Tom
Tom.
Thomas.
Yeah. And he said something about, was it 2 1/4?
Yeah, it was 2 something.
If you qualified for.
But you see, he didn't tell you if he did.
No, but he did say if it was, for some reason. And it didn't seem like we had a good enough reason. Because the fire issue was not a good enough reason. So, I don't know.
It means your house burned down.
Well, there's pretty low pressure there.
So do you want me to meet?
I'll do it about CC, I mean, so that you'll be on the same email.
I'm not
I
too
can do
worried
that.
about it, but it doesn't mean, and that's just doesn't work.
Well, I don't know if there's anything I can get you information-wise to help you on the funding source. I mean, I'm happy to work with you on that, but, I don't know if you have enough information from RD. I think SRF's pretty easy to work with.
The way Arnold Thomas explained it, he said you either need a contamination or, well, he primarily talked about contamination of the water tower itself, or the water, the wells,
In order to
in order
qualify
to
for
qualify.
Really?
Was I understanding him right? Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't look nearly as promising as it
Right,
started out
it
to
doesn't
be.
sound like it, I agree. I mean, if you decide on the SRF avenue, then the next step, Tammy and I gotta fill out some, a kind of an application. One application you submitted within here, but there's a second one they're gonna require. So that would be her and I working on that.
What do you guys think? I mean, our first step is obviously to get some land. If we have an easement with the Lutheran Church for the parking, is it necessary for that 80 by 160 footprint? Or is that just the standard operating procedure for the footprint of a tower this size?
You know, that's a deal, I don't
Oh,
know, but
okay.
sorry, I just
That's
don't know
right, you're
engineering.
doing
Yeah, I'm more
middle
of a
portion
grant
here.
person. Yeah, sorry, yes, I'm doing the regs with, so
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know design requirements.
Yeah, that's what he told me, 160, 80 by 160.
Oh, and we were looking at 160 by 160 to square it off. That's what it was. Okay.
No, I think we were looking at
And
adding more to the east, just to square it off
Okay.
for
Yeah.
him, which would have added a little bit more, but not much. Then we would have to take care of it, or else just put it in. Sort of grits. Well,
I'm not allowed to help. I mean, Neil is the guy you gotta talk to, but,
thank you.
yeah, I'll just leave the contract, and Tammy and I are gonna probably sit down sometime this month, because I wanna
Yeah.
set files up and do some other things. So a lot of the stuff will be just paperwork, but.
Sounds fair.
Right.
Thank you for
Thank you,
coming.
Mark.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry,
You know, he lost a pretty good segment of ground out there, and he's probably just not real happy about losing some more. I understand. I mean, all that, we should have been there first.
Engineering contracts,
Well, no,
so we can't do anything with that, huh?
I mean, you could pass it, but,
I think we better get it ground first.
so.
Yeah.
Actually, we should talk to Neil so we know
that's
what
what,
the next step is.
right. Have him come down and look at those two pieces and figure out what he thinks is the better option. I know what he's gonna say. He's gonna say the better option was what we were looking at, but you can't buy it unless you wanna go through eminent domain.
No.
There's
No.
no way I wanna do that.
Yeah.
Well, that is a street. I mean,
It is a street, we just gave them easement to.
I don't think, they probably don't have had easement.
The Lutherans,
Right.
they have a
Yeah.
parking lot to the east, don't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.